For people who are just joining us this evening, we're going to wait a couple more minutes to let folks kind of trickle in, and we'll get started at around 7:05.
Recording in progress.
Okay, I think we'll get started now. I wanted to, next slide, please, Jesse. So before we really get started, I had a couple of housekeeping announcements this evening. Just want to let everyone know that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast, I believe, live on RCTV, and we are also being recorded by RCTV and by Zoom. For people who would like to dial in, I'm sure you've probably dialed in by now, but I will repeat the phone number anyway. It is 646-518-9805, and the meeting ID number is 977-8588-4388. And we will be taking questions and also receiving comments at the end of the presentation this evening. We'll remind folks of how to be able to participate both via Zoom and also by phone. By Zoom, if you have any questions or comments, you can let us know by putting your comments in the chat. The chat function is at the bottom of your window, Zoom window. And if you are joining us by phone this evening, you can use the raise hand function by dialing *9 if you're dialing in. You will be muted upon entry if you are joining us this evening by phone, and you will remain muted. And actually everyone is muted who is joining us, and we will unmute you when you are called upon to speak. If you are dialing in by phone and you need to unmute, you will use *6. And again, we will help everyone once we get to the question and answer session. Go ahead, Jesse. So I wanted to welcome everyone this evening. And I also wanted to acknowledge my coworkers here. We have Julie Mercier, Director of Community Development and Planning, Andrew McNichol, our staff planner, Jessie Wyman, she is our technical consultant with Favorman Design this evening. We also have Bob Melisher and Jean Delios, Assistant Town Manager and Town Manager. Tonight, we will be doing a quick welcome. We will be describing our partnerships and Reading's response to COVID through our economic development and planning initiatives, and then dive into this local rapid recovery project in particular and talk about some of the survey results that we have received both from businesses and also customers. And then we'll also hear from Jessie Wyman this evening about opportunities and next steps and roll into our question and answer session as well. Next slide. And with that, I would like to introduce our town manager, Bob Melisher, and also our assistant town manager, Jean Delios. And we will turn it over to both of them for their opening remarks this evening. Thank you.
Thanks, Erin. Thanks for everyone for joining us this evening. This public forum is part of a statewide program called the Local Rapid Recovery Program. Last year in 2020, the town applied for and received a grant from the Mass Department of Housing and Community Development for consultant services. And this LRRP tonight is helping both the state and the town first take stock of the downtown economic climate and then to plot a recovery strategy. You will learn tonight that the pandemic has dampened, but not defeated, our downtown community. Over a decade ago, the town began working with the downtown community, and one obvious result is that the demand for downtown housing remains very strong. Area businesses already have and will continue to increase the amount of foot traffic and the amount of potential customers living right nearby. I think this proactive and collaborative approach between the town and the downtown businesses has put some type of a floor underneath the pandemic's damage. And more importantly, I think it's given everyone hope for a brighter future and a very rapid recovery. So with that, I'll turn it over to Assistant Town Manager Jean Delios. And again, thanks for those attending and watching remotely.
Thank you, Bob. I'm very happy to be here and appreciate everybody taking the time out to be part of this. This is part of an ongoing conversation and one that I'm very excited about. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that we've heard from the community that Reading wants to see going forward. Some of those include more things to do, more restaurants and stores and more variety, an enhanced downtown with more attractive features. We also will see a little bit about some high-level recommendations from the project consultant, Jessie Wyman of Favorman Design. Jessie will be working with the town of Reading as well as with community stakeholders over the summer to provide technical support in the form of existing templates being used in other communities, case studies, and design guidance. So we're very happy to be working with Jessie, not only because she's so good at what she does, but because she used to be a town of Reading employee. Together, we're going to identify technical and financial resources that will drive the implementation of these economic recovery recommendations that are designed to support downtown businesses and customer needs. And so the topic of downtown really has been one that, as Bob noted, that we've been focused on for many years. It's very exciting to me that we have a group of stakeholders who have gotten together and formed a committee. And this is a group of private business owners, private property owners, and private developers who took a keen interest in downtown Reading. And what they've been working on is a district management entity. We've been talking about forming a district management entity for a few years now. And this group really got it together and said, I think it's time to talk about a business improvement district, a BID. And so the BID steering committee is what they call themselves, has worked for several months now to identify a process going forward. This process would be a mechanism for property owners to pool their resources to sustainably fund and initiate professional supplemental services and programs for downtown. These would be the stewards. In collaboration with this private group leading the charge, the town has provided its support in a number of ways, including in-kind contribution as well as grant support. We're really looking forward to the professional, organizational, and collaborative capacity of the bid and what that would bring to downtown in the form of stewardship, as well as financial support and supplemental services. I'm very pleased to introduce the next speaker, Liz Whitelam of Whitelam Books, located, I'm sure everyone knows, in the heart of downtown, right on Main Street. And she's also a co-chair of the bid steering committee. Liz is going to walk us through a little bit about what her group has been up to, the work plan, and the process going forward for how you get the bid started. Thank you.
Someone may need to promote Liz.
Liz, if you need to be unmuted, we can probably give you a hand with that, but you're next.
I have unmuted. I just don't know if I'm visible. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Thanks so much. I've been promoted. Thank you to the town of Reading for your support of the Business Improvement District for downtown Reading. The town staff has worked in partnership with the committee and other community stakeholders to provide staff time, grant-funded professional expertise, and extensive public outreach and engagement through the Reimagine Reading initiative to gauge interest for downtown district management organization for over 2 years. So we're grateful for all of the work that you guys have done to inform the process here. So for those watching at home, a business improvement district is a property owner funded professional organization that specializes in providing supplemental programming and services to a district. So right now the bid steering committee is working to get property owner support for the bid. At the moment, we have multiple owners representing 25% of the downtown parcels that have signed on in support of having a professional downtown business improvement organization. And we are very excited about the possible work ahead. Together, we are aiming to provide added value to everyone who lives, visits, and works in our downtown area, so in the district, through a few different approaches. So one thing would be cultural placemaking. So things like downtown programming, events like live music series. Something that many people have expressed an interest in is a professionally managed farmers market. That's something we're hoping to pursue. And also placemaking like decorative lighting, public art, and other public amenities. A bid can also support marketing and branding. So helping prospective businesses test local and regional markets, collaborative marketing efforts with other community organizations like the Rotary or the Chamber. We could support or create signature events. We're hoping to develop and implement a professional marketing strategy for the downtown district, which could include district brand, a website, a local business directory, a calendar of events and promotions, and then possibly the development of marketing materials that could include market studies and tools to help continue to attract new and unique and experiential retail and restaurants, something that we keep hearing from the community is a high priority. The bid could also work towards business support and recruitment, things like creating small business grants or revolving loan programs to help creative businesses get a start. We could collectively purchase technical assistance and consulting services for businesses within the district. And we could provide small grants for things like facade improvements to the front of businesses. And a bid also can help with advocacy. So to advocate and support the downtown district by representing district property owners and work in collaboration with the town and other community organizations and advocates to support the bid plan. So we're very excited about the significant added value that a business improvement organization can bring to the downtown. A bid can help create an elevated, vibrant, attractive, and sustainable downtown Reading that no one property owner can do alone. Collaborative support and investment is essential to provide these professional supplemental programs and services to help the downtown district thrive. And that's what we're hoping to do. So if anybody would like to be in touch with the bid committee to learn more about it or provide any input or to help support the effort, you can contact us at readingbid, so READINGBID @gmail.com. Also feel free to stop by the bookstore and ask me about it in person. Happy to talk about it anytime. And with that, I would like to turn it over to Erin Schaefer, our Economic Development Director with the Town of Reading, to highlight some key initiatives that the town has implemented to keep the downtown vital and to support economic stability and recovery.
Thanks, Liz. I'm so excited about your work and working with the committee. It's been a long time coming, and I'm just so thrilled that we have such support and people working together. It makes a huge difference in town. So hi, everyone. I'm Erin Schaefer. I'm the Economic Development Director in the Town of Reading. And I wanted to say that the most common question that I get from the public is, what is economic development? And for the Town of Reading, our economic development is the process of proactively helping to create and sustain wealth in a community. And I want to stress proactive and collaborative because those are things that we really do in town. This proactive work is essential to helping keep downtown vital, preserve what's important, and also position the town to be queued up for opportunities. And the key to Reading's success really is this proactive strengthening of partnerships and working collaboratively, both with interdepartmental colleagues, which we do really well in town, and also with community stakeholders and regional and state economic development partners. So I want to highlight a few key efforts, both pre-pandemic and during pandemic. The couple of things here in the top image that I'm pointing to, but you probably can't see my cursor here, is at the top of Hayden Street and Main Street there with that P sign. That parking sign was part of a downtown wayfinding signage and banners effort to help people navigate downtown more effectively. Those were actually designed by Jessie Wyman of Faberman Design, which we're really excited to have her here tonight. We also, at the beginning of the pandemic, I created a back to business toolkit with some help from Jessie as well. This back to business toolkit really helped our businesses understand a lot of information right at the beginning of the pandemic of what was what and what the requirements were and kind of how to do operations in business and where to find protective gear and all the things that we needed to do at a time where all that information wasn't clear and consolidated. So we created that toolkit, which was a really big help to businesses. And then looking further into the year, I connected with a lot of businesses with a lot of personalized phone calls and connected businesses to technical assistance, which is what I do. And I'm really proud to say that we have connected businesses with more than $2 million in small business grants this year through state grant programs and help way more than, we've got 50 diverse small businesses that have applied and received funding, which I'm really excited about. And that is in addition to all the PPP loans and the IDL and all the other relief and support programs that are ongoing. We also had a lot of public art. We did a public art initiative with Andrew and I worked on together, which I'm really excited about, as many of you are excited about as well, with our Outside the Box mural program. And we also expanded outdoor dining, both through policy work that the planning department did, through expanded zoning, which I'm really excited about, and also with this expanded bistro table program this year. We are also currently working on collaborative marketing in partnership with the Reading North Reading Chamber with the Shop the Reading's business directory, which I'm thrilled about. That was a grant funded opportunity through the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. And I'd be remiss to say that we also were working in partnership with the town of North Reading as well. And again, building partnerships both locally and regionally is a really important part of our work. And we're thrilled to be able to continue with these efforts. So with that, thank you everyone for your tremendous work this year and all of my colleagues and many of our partners and stakeholders We really could not have gotten through the pandemic without all of our collaborative efforts. And I'm really excited and looking forward to the work ahead. So without further delay, I'd like to introduce you to our local rapid recovery consultant, Jesse Wyman at Faberman Design Associates, who we are working collaboratively with to provide us a plan moving forward in partnership with all of our partners, including the bid steering committee and our work plan. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Jesse Wyman. And thank you this evening.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Can you all hear me? I want to make sure that everyone can hear me. Great. All right, so I'm Jesse Wyman. I'm with Faberman Design. We are the firm that has been assigned to work with Reading for the local rapid recovery program. This program is actually, as mentioned, a statewide program. There's about 125 communities doing this very same thing. And what we're going to be focusing on is providing technical assistance to help Reading's downtown understand the COVID impacts that it's had on our downtown businesses, but also understand the changes in our consumer shopping habits and trends and what they want to see moving forward. So this project is really fast moving. We've got it divvied up into 3 phases. We've got our phase 1, which is our diagnostic stage, really taking the pulse at what's happening now or what businesses are experiencing for impacts, but also touching base with our community stakeholders and our constituents and understanding what it is they want to see moving forward. And with all of that information, the data and the engagement pieces that we have, we're going to be recommending draft plan recommendations and projects in phase 2. So that will wrap up by July, which will ultimately fold into a final plan, and that'll be wrapped up in September. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue to work with the town. We're going to continue to work with the bid steering committee and other community stakeholders to produce a plan that has really clear goals with implementation strategies and also funding recommendations that the town can then take to seek out funding and implement some of these projects we're talking about. So what did phase 1 explore? We really looked at these 4 key areas of assessment. We looked at our physical environment. We really wanted to understand how conducive the downtown is to meeting the needs of both businesses and customers, and where there's opportunity to better meet their needs through improvement of the various elements that we have in our physical environment. We also took a look at our customer base. We want to understand who our customers are, what it is they need, what it is they want, and how to get them back to downtown. We also took a look at our business environment, understanding first and foremost what the impacts have been to our downtown businesses, but then understanding who our businesses are as a whole, what our tenant mix looks like, and where there's opportunity to improve upon the tenant mix and meet customer needs and wants. We also took a look at the administrative capacity, really understanding who the stewards are of downtown, what staff and resources we have available to implement some of these projects, along with what funding opportunities there are to implement these projects, both on a local, state, and regional level for funding opportunities. But at the same time, we're taking a look at the regulatory framework and seeing where we can make improvements that really pose an impediment to business activity. So how did we explore these questions? We really took a deep dive into data collection. You can see here all the data we've collected, but then we also wanted to hear from our stakeholders, both our businesses and our customers. So we administered a business survey that was closed in mid-April. We had about 68 respondents, and what we really wanted to learn from that is what their impacts were as a result of COVID, but also what initial strategies they felt were important to help them recover. Similarly, we are currently administering a customer survey. We've had to date over 750 respondents. It does close Friday, so if you haven't taken the survey, you can access that survey on the Economic Development webpage on the town's website. It'll close Friday. And what we were really interested in finding from that survey is the changes in customer shopping habits as a result of COVID-19, but also what we can do to help encourage them back to downtown. We also have been meeting regularly with staff. We also met with the North Reading Chamber and the bid steering committee to understand what they're hearing from their audiences as to what it is that they need, what the challenges are, and also make sure that we're in alignment to what people want to see moving forward from the various groups and efforts that have already been done. So the first thing we wanted to do is take a look at who our customer base is. And I'm not going to read these numbers off to you line by line, but what we're discovering is that Reading's customer base is highly educated with multi-person households. So these are likely family households that are highly educated and are also high earners. So this is important to keep in mind as we're developing project recommendations and strategies, because we want to make sure that it's really attracting our direct customer base. We'll be discovering a little bit more about our customers in a few slides throughout the presentation. So when it comes to our commercial property trends in downtown Reading, what we're seeing is we have about 138 storefronts, first floor or ground floor stores. We have about 170,000 square feet of ground floor retail space, 50,000 square feet of ground floor office space. Our rents right now are around $23 per square foot for ground floor office retail space, which is actually lower than what we're seeing in Boston, and they're about at $38 per square foot. Reading did experience a handful of business closures since March of 2020. But one thing I want to note is that we don't know 100% as if it was directly related to COVID or not. The good thing is that we've actually had 10 business openings since March of 2020. So we're actually doing pretty okay. The vacancy rate right now is about 4.7% for ground floor storefronts. Boston is averaging about 14% right now. So we're doing okay. We also wanted to understand, who the businesses are and what industries they're in. Right now, most of the businesses in downtown Reading are in the personal care sector, which actually can be leveraged as a marketing tool to market the local economy. But we also have a strong professional and technical service industry, followed by healthcare, things like doctor's office and dentist office, then retail, trade, and food service accommodation, and then the remaining 21% we just grouped together in the following categories that you see there. So what do businesses need? What do our downtown businesses need? This is a big question that we're asking. And in order to do that, we also want to understand what the impacts that they've experienced through COVID. So our business survey asked what their impacts were, and 91% of the respondents of our business survey did indicate that they were negatively impacted by COVID. This isn't surprising. Reading is not immune to the impacts that COVID has had. A lot of communities are experiencing the same. We also heard that they're experiencing less foot traffic than they had before COVID. Again, we were shut down for quite some time. That's not surprising. Then at the time that we administered the survey, which was late March, early April, 64% of businesses were reporting that they were operating at reduced hours or capacity. And then almost 50% experienced a revenue decline of 25% or more. But we also know that our businesses are creative and resilient. So I'm actually going to turn it back over to Erin. She's going to talk about a few things that our businesses have done to help mitigate and pivot in the times of COVID.
Yeah, so I did want to point out here that 46% of our business respondents established alternative methods of doing business. Quite impressive, and there were lots of questions that folks had right at the beginning of the pandemic, and I give our businesses a ton of credit because you guys had to reinvent yourselves over and over again, and you continue to do so. So kudos to all of you for working collaboratively together here. I wanted to highlight that we do have a really strong business community, and this picture is of our Reading Retailers Collaborative group. They're an informal group, but they work hard together to cross-promote and collectively market and put on some events for downtown. So shopping local is super important, and it really helps these guys thrive. So the things that our businesses did to be creative is some of our local business owners actually delivered themselves, delivered products and services doorstep to doorstep with no contact delivery, sidewalk pickup and drop off, window shopping quite literally with people calling in and looking at different products, creation of websites and online shopping. I know some folks, some businesses didn't even have a website to begin with and really had to learn all this new technology and develop their social media tools and all sorts of other things online. That collaborative marketing branding effort was really important again. and these physical distanced shopping events happened. The Reading North Reading Chamber actually did kind of a sidewalk sale of doing a wonderful blanket permit for a number of businesses, working with the town to be able to provide this outdoor shopping experience and ability for our retailers to have sidewalk shopping available. And then what I really loved, which was incredibly touching, was this investment in public art. We see those inspirational messages on storefront windows that popped up at a time where public art was really necessary, and we still see those up today. So, thank you to our businesses for, again, working collaboratively with the town, and we're really excited and happy to see this creativity and resilience. It's just been an incredible year of lots of ups and downs, but we're definitely on the upswing. So wanted to highlight all the hard work that our businesses needed to do to reinvent themselves. So thank you.
Thank you, Erin. So now we want to ask ourselves, what do downtown Reading customers need? What we've learned through our customer survey and those that have responded is that they're between the ages of 35 and 54. We also heard that just over 50% have someone under the age of 18 living in their household. So these are likely young families with children. But we also have a good proportion of population age 65 plus. And when they're visiting downtown, they're bringing family and friends. So what we need to take away from this is that Reading needs something for everyone, and our current customer base is of all ages. So as we're continuing to think about things to do or activities to bring or strategies to implement or business support, that it really keeps in mind who our customer base is. And we also learned that our customers are supporting our businesses even through the pandemic. We learned that 91% of customers have ordered takeout or delivery from a downtown business. 47% have ordered curbside pickup delivery or delivery from a downtown business. And 75% are feeling safe when they do visit. So that is really, really great to see. One question we asked in the survey is, where do they shop when they can't find what they're looking for in Reading? And what we heard is a lot of them go to Linfield Market Street, which isn't surprising, it is down the road. But we wanted to compare what Linfield Market Street looks like as it compares to downtown Reading. And so I have a map here that shows Market Street overlaid on downtown Reading. You can see roughly the same size. And when it comes to access and walking, we ended up doing an exercise where we compared walking from a back lot in Market Street to Wahlburgers to walking from the train station to White Lamb Books, both of which are roughly a quarter mile and about a 4 to 5 minute walk. So what we're experiencing and what we're seeing, sorry, my slides are not going the way I want them to. So what we're seeing with this is that, Reading is actually just as accessible as Linfield, and that many people might be visiting Linfield for other reasons. There's more things to do. There's more shops. There's more restaurants. But that is actually what our Reading customers want to see in downtown Reading. We're also learning that when they are coming to downtown, they're not necessarily sticking around. They may visit one shop or one restaurant and then leave. We're hearing that, there really isn't much to do or an anchor store or something to visit. And they feel that there just isn't enough restaurants or shops that interest them. So now the question is, what can we do to help businesses and support their recovery and also welcome people back to downtown Reading? So when it comes to business strategies, what we're hearing is that our businesses are interested in some form of technical or financial assistance, things like business support, which could include projects or programs to help with things like social media management, setting up online selling platforms. It could be programs to help them understand how to leverage their storefront window displays and merchandise better to bring customers inside their stores. It could be looking at opportunities and helping them with shared marketing, advertising programs, and ways to support facade and sign improvements. We also want to improve the tenant mix. We heard that that is something our customers want more of. So looking at ways to implement recruitment strategies to attract a variety of retail and restaurant businesses to downtown, and also support with collaborative marketing campaigns, and also establish a more district-wide downtown marketing campaign that will bring folks to downtown. We also want to look at more opportunities for outdoor dining and selling. Again, really to think about Reading as a destination point and a way to bring people downtown. And then we're looking at things that improve the public space and provide better access. So thinking about improvements to the downtown parking management policies or availability, looking at better access for customers and employees through wayfinding or creative means, to get people to downtown, but also navigate within the downtown, and also let people know what is in the downtown so that they're not just going to one thing and then leaving. We're also looking at streetscape improvements to sidewalks, seating areas, and things that make Reading beautiful, give a reason for people to visit our downtown. And when we start to think about what can bring customers back to downtown, we're hearing that they want more. They want things like public art, entertainment, outdoor events, dining. And not only does this actually bring customers back to downtown, it actually makes Reading a more attractive place for businesses to locate. So as Liz mentioned, we're thinking about things in the cultural placemaking realm, things like lighting displays, public art, outdoor entertainment events, farmers markets, or events in similar scale to our Fall Street Fair. Again, more outdoor dining, it seems that that's what people want, and it provides an experience and a reason to come. We're also looking at business support and recruitment, again, to get that ideal tenant mix that customers want to see. So implementing some recruitment strategies that will bring a better variety of retail shops and restaurants is a good strategy that will help attract more businesses and people to our downtown. And then again, improving access in the public space. We want to think also about ways how we can provide more opportunity for people to walk and bike to our downtown and come experience these things. And also, again, taking a look at the parking so we can make it easy for people to come to our downtown. So what we'll be doing through phase 2 and phase 3 is taking these ideas, formulating project recommendations in these 6 buckets, 6 category buckets. So over phase 2, we're going to continue to work with town staff, the bid steering committee, and other community stakeholders, really to refine these recommendations and also identify where we can get funding to actually implement these projects. Once the final plan is developed, the town and community stakeholders can seek out funding to implement these projects in the near future. So that brings us to Q&A, and I'm going to hand it back to Erin.
Thanks, Jessie. So with that, thank you so much for your presentation. Really appreciate all the hard work that you've done putting this information together for us and your recommendations. I want to remind folks, if you would like to comment or ask a question, you can use the chat function for your questions, and we will monitor them and read them out loud as they come in and answer your questions. If you're joining us by phone tonight, you can ask a question by raising your hand by pressing *9 if you're dialing in. And for those of you who are joining on the phone, you may unmute when you're called upon to speak by using *6 to unmute yourselves if dialing in. All questions will be read before answering. And then also for anyone who is interested in taking a deeper look into this presentation and survey information, we will be providing this information on the town website through the economic development page. On the left-hand side of the economic development page, there's a local rapid recovery plan button where the project information is available. And again, we are still administering the customer survey, which is available online, but is also available to people who prefer a paper copy at the Reading Public Library as well through this week. So with that, I'll turn it over to Andrew McNichol to see if we have any questions or comments, and we will hopefully wrap up by 8. Thank you.
All right, so we do have our first question from Bob in the chat, and it asks, for downtown businesses, how will you measure your success in the next year? So if one of our presenters or any and all, please do go right ahead.
I can take that one. So as part of this project, we are going to actually be identifying key performance indicators for each of the projects that we propose. So we will actually have a way to measure results for the specific projects that we recommend, and it will vary based on the project, but we also are getting really good guidance and templates from the state of case studies that have been done before. So we're not going to be working from scratch. We're going to hopefully be working from projects that have had success in other areas and adopting it to fit Reading and taking note through the key performance indicators that we identify.
Thank you, Jesse.
Any other questions, Andrew?
I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, and I'm not seeing any hands raised at the moment.
Okay. Well, we'll give folks a few more minutes if you're joining us.
We just got our second question, and that was from Nancy, and she asked, can you address any reasons businesses did not want to join the bid?
So to clarify some information there, it's not businesses that join the business improvement district or not. It is property owners that participate. And the business improvement steering committee is still working to create their work plan and such, and have not started, have just launched this evening, if you will, to make a more public appeal. I don't know if Liz is on the phone. Liz is there, who be able to fill in more details there, but she can speak on from her perspective as a business owner. And Andrew, you might want to repeat the question for us, or a comment.
Yes, Liz, I believe you're unmuted and you should be okay. But that question again was, can you address any reasons a business would not want to join the bid?
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, terrific. So yes, hi, Nancy, whichever Nancy you are. As Aaron said, it is not actually businesses that join the bid. The way a business improvement district works is the property owners within the district are actually funding any of the initiatives. So they are for the benefit of both the properties and the businesses. So the businesses would be part of any of the activities and initiatives that we put together. But the businesses themselves are not actually part of who joins the quote unquote official bid. That being said, as Aaron also clarified, we are just in the process now of creating the entity. There's been it's a very lengthy process to formulate the plan and how it all comes together and ultimately becomes an official entity that can work with the town. So we're just starting the process right now of getting the property owners to sign on. So we're at the beginning. And as I said there earlier, about 25% of the property owners within the downtown district have already expressed their support. And so we're going from there.
And to build on that, we're super excited about this opportunity. I think it'll be a great opportunity for businesses because there's a lot of supplemental programming and support that the bid steering committee is planning. Again, that marketing and branding opportunity, again, you know, for the bid to be able to take that on and really brand and market the district as a whole and help businesses actually market through the bid itself it provides that opportunity to work collaboratively, cross-promoting, and things of that nature. So there are many opportunities, I think, that are really positive that the bid can bring to help support businesses. Again, you know, businesses always do invest in marketing and branding, for example, but it's quite expensive. And for an entity to join collaboratively market and work together to fund and support this collaborative marketing effort, you know, that can have a really substantial impact, more substantial than any one business can do alone. So again, there's, I do think it's really positive for businesses, really valuable to have a business improvement district help with recovery efforts as well. So we're thrilled that the bid is working, the steering committee is working to formulate that entity.
Thank you both, Erin and Liz. We did get a second question, actually a 2-in-1. And that question comes from East Stone, and they asked, where will you find the room for outdoor dining? And also, what other types of businesses would we be most likely to recruit to town?
Yeah, so I can tackle that one a bit. We have a couple of different policies in place right now. One is outdoor dining policy through the select board that allows for outdoor dining, expanded outdoor dining on sidewalks and other locations and public spaces. And then recently the town also updated its zoning ordinance to allow for expanded outdoor dining opportunities on private property as well. And so you we have many examples of that in town right now. As you can see driving around town and looking at our restaurants. And we also have an outdoor dining bistro table program, which is located, there are bistro table programs that are deployed around downtown too, on downtown sidewalks as well. Sorry, tell me the second part of that question, Andrew.
No problem. That second question was, what other types of businesses would we be most likely to recruit to town?
Yeah, so for our downtown, what we're seeing the trend right now is that I'm super thrilled that we have several retail businesses that have recently opened or are planning to open. And we also have a number of restaurants that I'm really thrilled are opening as well in Reading. So we are starting to, you know, I think with the result of this new development in town, we're also seeing a lot of new and interesting and unique restaurants and retail opportunities, retail businesses that are eyeing Reading and moving to Reading, which I'm really excited about. And again, that is something that having more retail and more restaurants is something that the public has been asking for quite some time. So again, I think we're on this upward trend of attracting businesses that people want to see. So, and again, also supporting local businesses is really important mechanism for attracting additional business to town. So I do want to stress shopping locally is not only important to support our current local businesses, but again, shopping local also helps in attracting new businesses that you want to see in town as well. And I hope I answered all the details of that question.
Wonderful. Thank you, Erin. And I do see that Thomas O'Connor has his hand raised. Good evening, Tom. How are you? Please go right ahead.
Good evening. Thank you. I was just curious if there's any plans to bring back the Fall Street Fair, which was a good draw for bringing people downtown, or is that too early, too large an event to, under the circumstances, to be planning?
I suppose I could answer that and put my foot in my mouth. We met with the Fall Street Fair committee today, and they're exploring the likelihood and possibility of coming back with a Fall Street Fair this fall, you know, possibly a little smaller scale. But yeah, Tom, I think you'll see one. And it would be the weekend of 9/11, so Sunday is September 12th.
Thank you.
And right now, I do not have any other questions in the chat or hands raised, but we'll give it another minute.
And to remind folks who are joining us by phone tonight, if you want to raise your hand or make a comment, ask a question, you can dial *9 if you're dialing in.
Tom, you raised your hand again? Go on.
No, I'm trying to take it down. Sorry.
I can do that for you, no worries.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Andrew, any other comments or questions?
Nope.
Great. So I think we'll wrap up a little early. Thank you so much, everyone on this project team. For more information, you can visit the Reddingstown website and click on the Economic Development webpage. And we will consistently be updating. We constantly do update our web pages, but we will specifically be updating this local rapid recovery plan page on the Economic Development website with this presentation tomorrow, the recording of this presentation, and I'm happy to speak to anyone who has follow-up questions. And again, Liz Whitelam has extended an invitation to anyone who is interested in the Reading Bid Steering Committee and their work. And again, the email address to contact the Reading Bid Steering Committee is Reading, READING, bid, BID, @gmail.com. So with that, thank you everyone for joining us this evening, and good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.